Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are nearly halfway through the week. Hope you've had a really amazing and fabulously awesome week so far. Today on the coffee run, it's all about answering questions. And one of the big ones that I've had come through this week is a little bit about Facebook ads. Good morning, Joe. I'm not sure who else is joining us. Good morning. It's a little bit cooler today. Hey, Kelly. So one of the questions is any tips on how you word things so that your ads get approved on Facebook? Hey, Beck. So there's a couple of really important things here. Hey, Ainsley. Number one, just in terms of functionality, we can't mention stress, anxiety, depression, diet. I think they're like four of the big four. Good morning. No worries. Thank you. Thanks, Kelly. They're really the big four, and this is because of Facebook's terms of service. What they are wanting to make sure is that the ads that get placed in the news feed to different people, so whether it's on your phone or whether it's in the news feed on your desktop, they don't want them to be discriminatory. They don't want them to essentially have someone feel like they're almost being attacked, right? Or judged. So the way that so just to be really careful, Tamara, this is a question from you. You will need to have a look and see if you've placed an ad and it's been declined, then usually that's because you've got one of those words in there, or you have said something like, you are someone who is a really great mother, you're a wife, you're also really anxious and stressed all the time, trying to keep all of the balls in the air. We can't say things like that, so we've just got to be really careful with our language. Some of the ways that I've been able to get things, we can't, the other thing as well that you can't do, oh god, my phone's running flat. That's a bit awkward. The other thing that you can't do is make financial claims. So if you are in a business to business profession, right? So I help people with their marketing. And the general thing that happens with marketing is that you get an ROI. You've got to be careful, and one of the things that I can't do is say, hey, I'm going to teach you how you can add $100,000 to your bottom line. I can't do that in an ad. It would be completely disapproved. So sometimes it's about you can be a little bit clever with the words that you use and how you utilize them within the text, or you just avoid it altogether. So, all right, Tamara said, are you feeling frustrated? Yeah, okay. So one of the ways that I like to do it is a little bit like, so does this sound like you? You might start off an ad like that. Does this sound like you? Doesn't seem to matter how much time and effort, I wouldn't say money, how much time and effort you pour into your marketing without seeing any results. Have you felt so confused with how you can create work-life balance? Well, let me tell you that work-life balance is a myth, and it's actually more about integration. Tamara, you might be saying something along the lines of, let me think about this for a second. You know, you look at, have you ever found yourself looking at all of those other mums who seemingly have it all together, yet you've also start to wonder if the cracks will start to show? You know, I know for me that these are some of the things that I've been working through, and what I found is that there are three main ways that you can overcome mother guilt, that you can still have the life that you want, and you can still be a really amazing parent. All you need to do is click here and download this blah, blah, blah thing, whatever it happens to be. So if you do some of the homework, right? The homework before you do your ads is you've got to make sure that you know who your audience is, right? You've got to also make sure that you know what you're going to give them in order to solve a problem for them. So where I'm going with that, if your audience is mums who are wanting to get back into the workforce perhaps, so you would go and sit down and work out, all right, what are these mums working through? What are they struggling with? What kinds of things do they really want and desire? So you sit down and you would start by writing out what I call a client transformation statement. It's a little bit like doing the architectural drawings for a new house or a new building you might want to build before you start pouring a slab, right? If you go straight to pouring a slab or trying to put walls up, you haven't got a foundation. You don't know where the walls are going to go. You don't know where the restrooms are going. You don't know where the kitchen's going, right? So you want to have a solid plan before you get into writing ads and doing all of that. So one of the things that I like to do, I'm just trying to find my little template for you and I can't see it. So you're going to start off writing a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, Melissa, start off writing a whole, it might be a whole page where you start writing, does this sound like you? And then write a sentence. It might be a paragraph. So one of the things that I did is like, you're a wife, you're a mother, yada, yada, yada. And then how I would transform all of that writing into an ad is saying, does this sound familiar? Okay. The other thing that Facebook tries to make sure that you're not doing is having a gender bias, right? So saying, you should be doing this as a mother, you should be doing this as a woman, you should be doing this as a man. So just be really careful around the way that you phrase your stuff and talk more about the collective feeling that's created. And in your targeting of the ad, you'll just target men or women or both, depending on who it is that you want to draw in. I trust that makes sense. So one of the things that you can do in order to make this easier for you is write out a client transformation statement. And the framework goes like this. If you are so start writing out a whole bunch of sentences that describes the audience that you want to connect with through your ads. And you then want to talk about what they want. So this would be like a bit of pain moving towards pleasure kind of framework. In the what they want, you want to feel balanced, you want to feel nurtured, you want to feel fulfilled, you want to feel validated, important, like you matter, free, wealthy. Don't use financially in any of your ad copy. Don't use the word money either in any of your ad copy, because it can get auto disapproved. If you're not making, so just as an aside there, if you're not making a financial claim, and if your ad gets refused, like for example, I can show you how to make $4 million in 4 years using Facebook ads, that ad would be declined, right? But if you talked about a case study in your ad that says, I'm going to share with you a case study about how a client of mine made $4 million in 4 years, you can learn the steps. So long as it's referenced a case study, you could then actually, appeal to Facebook to have the ad approved, right? So Tamara, depending on what the languaging and things were in there, overwhelm I think should be fine, frustrated should be fine. You can always submit an appeal to Facebook asking them to look into it again. I've had some ads that get disapproved and then get approved because I'm like, no, I know that was fine. And then, they go ahead and do it. You can't swear in your ads either. So you can't say any of the, like even the low level swear words. So if you are and you want this thing, so mention some pain in the first part of your CTS, and then you've got a whole bunch of paragraphs that are about what they want. And then you'll help them down the bottom of your client transformation statement, take some kind of action. Okay, so if you're someone who is sick and tired, don't say sick in your ads. If you're someone who is frustrated and overwhelmed with the world of technology and how fast it's growing, and you just want to feel like you have the ability to use it proficiently, then all you need to do is download our 3-step guide to using tech in the 2018s. I don't know, that's not a very good one. But you can step it out in that kind of framework. Now, if you've got multiple sentences in the first section, multiple sentences in the second section, then multiple sentences in the third section, you can then in your ads pull out one of those sentences or a couple of those sentences, turn it into a paragraph for the first bit. From the second section, you'd pull out a couple of sentences, plop it over here, turn it into a paragraph, make sure it flows. And then you've got your call to action that just kind of plugs in at the bottom. So the way that I kind of visualize this is, I don't know if you guys have seen the magnets with individual words that you can put on your fridge and make sentences and stuff. I kind of imagine that we're going like, and then sometimes you need to switch it around depending on what you find, and then you bring in your call to action. It's like things kind of get dragged over. So what that does for you, if you do that work first, if you build those architectural drawings first, it gives you, immeasurable number of permutations with how you can switch around different things. It gives you a load of different ideas, and it all relates to that one call to action or that one download that you've put together that you're then going to ask for people to give you their information and download. So it's a little bit on why your ads may not have been approved, and it's a little bit about how you can write your copy in your ads and some things that you really, really need to be aware of. The thing that I just want to really highlight before you go and go, okay, great, I'm going to go and do my ads and it's going to be so exciting and it's so awesome and we're going to get all of the results and yay, yay, yay. Please make sure that the only time that you are giving Facebook money is is for advertising for someone to give you their name and email address. All right. So what that means is that you're offering them a download or a subscription, or we're not selling them anything. We're just giving them something for free that's going to solve their problem, which is why the first thing that I said, it's really important that you know your audience, because you've got to know what it is that you're going to give them. I am not interested in seeing you invest your hard-earned money into trying to grow your likes, into trying to get more engagement, in terms of trying to get more views. I just want you giving Facebook money only if it's in order to generate a lead. The only way that you generate a lead is by getting a name and an email address from someone who clicks on that ad, sees a landing page or a way that they can give you their information, and then you give them a piece of value. It's got to be highly valuable content in exchange for that information. And then you'll keep marketing to them via email as well as on Facebook and yada yada. A lot of people will tell you, well, not a lot of people, there are people out there that will say you've got to get 10,000 fans. As soon as you've got 10,000 fans, that's the key to you making 100 grand online. It's not, and they're lying. It is not, well, no, maybe they're not lying. Maybe that was something that was helpful in 2011, but these days, just because you've got 10,000 fans, it doesn't mean anything. I would rather have 2,000 people or 5,000 people follow me and love what I'm putting out. And, those people there are going to be a lot more, they're going to listen more, they're going to be a little bit more engaged. And by engagement, I mean they're listening or they're looking. I don't care about people, I love you guys commenting. But that's not why I'm not going to promote something in order to get people to comment on my stuff. That is not what it's about. It is not what makes people buy. The things that make people enroll with you in terms of either their name and email address or their interest or their time is because you're helping them, you're giving them valuable content. Okay, so just that's my little banging on about that. So the short answer to all of that is, Tamara, some of your ads will not be approved. And it is just trying to work the system to try and find out that if you're eliminating any of those hot words, stress, anxiety, depression, weight loss, diet, money, financial, I think investment is another one that you've got to be wary of. You can't, this is just the fact, I'm not being racist or anything. You can't say you're black, you're white, you're brown, you're Asian, you're Australian. You can't pinpoint a nationality or a race throughout your ads. So just be mindful of that. Okay. And then sometimes it just takes a few goes of resubmitting, adjusting the ad, resubmitting, asking them to approve it. And if you're just really stuck and if you're really not sure, then you can appeal to Facebook and then they can start a dialogue with you, right? So you can actually say, hey, I'm just really confused. I do not understand why this ad is being declined. Can you please explain it? Usually you'll get an auto response, but if you reply back, it usually prompts a human to then take a look at it and have a conversation with you. So an appeal usually gets put in front of a human's eyeballs versus the computer or the algorithm auto-approving or auto-declining your ad. All right? That was a really big question for today. I trust that helps you. Tamara, that was primarily for you. I know that there are a lot of you that are really excited to get your ads out and get some things happening. So one of the big things that I can suggest that you do before you jump out there and start paying for advertising on any platform or in any publication or anything is, number one, to test it with the audience that you currently have. It doesn't need to be a big audience. So one of the things that I talked about on Monday was about my content map, wherever that's gone, my visible content map. I had it just here. That's really random, isn't it? Which is where we've got that overarching message and we've got all of the things underneath there. I tested it at a live event. I've tested it on lives. I talked to you guys about it on Monday. The response was, yes, I need that. So that tells me, okay, there's enough people out there in my audience right now who that would serve and that would help. The logical decision then is that let's go test it with a wider audience who don't know me yet and see if that helps them. So we just kind of got to test it through. Oh, don't mention stress in your ads either. You're welcome back. It can be very confusing. Yeah. First of all, though, get your structure right. Work out what you're going to give them. And I mean, there's a million different ways that we can describe stress. There's a million different ways that we can describe overwhelm, weight loss, diet, finance, return on investment. There's a range of different ways that we can use our words. The challenge is sometimes to be a little bit creative. And dare I say, I know I've been guilty of this. You know, I can become a little bit lazy with my copywriting when I don't need to be super creative, right? It's just like, oh, let's just go put this out. But I know every time that if I'm trying to convey one particular message, that there's probably 3 or 4 different ways that I can language that. So it's just a matter of having some different options in your framework set up first that you can draw upon, shift them over in there, and then go test it. All right, guys, have a really awesome Wednesday. It is Wednesday all day. I feel like I need to have all of the coffee today, so I hope you guys are all caffeinated and you're ready to go and rock on for a really beautiful Wednesday even. I will see you tomorrow, which is Thursday, and it's going to be a how-to day. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. If you've got something that you need to know, let me know. Message me, comment below here. You can email me. You guys know where to find me. I'd love to answer it for you. Otherwise, go have a rocking day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.